Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for y'all today. So today in this video, I'm going to start you off with a little bit of a story. So back in May of 2025, I played the new hit game Expedition 33 and thought it was merely amazing. I even made a video about its music. Go check that out, by the way. But in reality, it really opened my eyes to the wonderful world of turn-based RPGs, a genre of games that I never really got into before. Well, fast forward to August of last year, Xbox released Persona 4 Golden onto their Game Pass Ultimate, right before I stopped paying for it. That's besides the point. Anyway, when I obviously found out Persona is an anime RPG, I said, why not? Let's give it a shot. Fast forward to today, when this video comes out, I have completed not only Persona 4 Golden, I have completed Persona 3 Reload and Persona 5 Royal. And let me tell you, they were all fantastic games. They all had similar things and they all were different from each other. And it really made the back-to-back playthrough of all these games fun and not repetitive, which is what I really thought was going to be very repetitive. Anyway, so with that being said, today I'm going to break down each Persona game into what I liked and what I didn't like about them. Then at the very end, I will rank them all and tell you which one is my favorite between story, combat, and social linked wise. I guess not character wise. We'll call it characters. So at the very end, we'll go story, gameplay, and characters. So with that, enjoy today's video. I should mention there might be a little bit of story spoilers, and as well, I wrote each section immediately following the completion of each individual game, so the game was fresh in my mind. So, with that being said, enjoy today's video.
Crazy how time flies when I wonder if the path is in the right direction. But I do believe things come to light by accident when it remains on. Sounds like it's meant to be.
Wake up, this phrase made when things fall apart. What matters at the end is how you left them all. Fire in my soul, fire in my heart. Till you see on the other side of stars. I'm running.
Oh, the journey starts from where we did first step. No one's sure what lies ahead before it breaks. Rose maybe, rough and tough, but we will live somewhere.
Nothing easy, get up and go, get it go.
Sometimes this journey is about wishes, not about the destination, not a world. No matter how far,
No matter how far,
how you go,
how you go,
how long can
Come
they
again, no time to waste. Gotta set your light, go get it burning.
Persona 3 Reload was the second Persona game I played through. I have done some research and learned that there are about 8 other million different versions of this game. I found that this version is the remake, or the reload, of the first version of the game that was released in 2006 on the PlayStation 2. Which is kind of fitting because this year is its 20-year anniversary. Anyways, enough being said, let's jump into the good and bad things of Persona 3 Reload. For the ones that have never played Persona 3 Reload, here is a quick summary of the story. You follow a transfer student who joins the Specialized Extracurricular Execution Squad, or SEAS, to fight monsters called Shadows. The plot focuses on exploring the mysterious Tower of Tartarus during the 25th hour, or the Dark Hour, aiming to save the city while managing a school life and building relationships. As of writing this part in the script, I have to say Persona 3 Reload story is my favorite. It was a beautiful handcrafted story that had highs and lows. The story had me thinking of the game when I was not even playing the game. The story has stuck with me so much that I started picking out themes and values that the game tells. However, even though the story itself was good, we need to talk about the bad things of the story. My personal main complaint with the game, which it seems others have the same issue, is the passing of the game. In the game, major story events happen during full moons, which during the time between full moons, you do have a few things you should do. Like, get to the next border room of Tartarus, maybe working on your skills, being intelligence, charm, or confidence. For me personally, I had all those maxed out by like August. Which then the events was just me working on social links on the days I can and climbing Tartarus, which Tartarus only took 2, maybe 3 nights of the total month of free time you have. Overall, I feel like the story is good with themes and being memorable. I just feel like the pacing was off. That's just me personally. But with that being said, let's talk about the gameplay. Gameplay was really fun actually. Well, kind of. Combat didn't feel boring and stale like I personally had in Persona 4 Golden, but Tartarus is boring and it gets stale. They tried to add different things every couple of floors, but really you just rinse and repeat the same thing on each floor. Go to the floor, run around smashing things, get into fights, find stairs, go upstairs, do it all over again. Which to try and help with the repetitiveness of it, they had different themes of, as the game calls it, blocks. There are 6 different blocks with their own theme, and it really is cool to see the new floor for maybe like the first 5 floors, and then it gets stale. Another thing, I felt like the enemies were really easy. I mean, I turned my game difficulty from normal to hard to have some type of challenge with Tartarus, and like I said, with it being the same thing for 264s, it gets really boring. One last thing for this section I want to talk about is the Theurgy skills. From what I found out, the original did not have this. Theurgy is pretty much special moves, and as this is my first time playing this game, I really enjoyed the special moves. However, I do know for the older players that played through the 8 million original copies of the game, Theurgy makes the hardest fight seem like a cakewalk. They kind of do. I even have to agree. I even saved my Theurgies for the Gatekeeper floors so I can one-shot the enemies. Like I said, I completely agree. Theurgies do make it a cakewalk, but I still personally enjoyed them. The next thing I want to talk about is the social links. My personal favorite part of Persona 3, 4, and 5. Persona 3 social links are rather interesting to say the least. Of course, as all the other Persona games, as you progress, you get more and more social links. My issue with this is that some of the party member social links are not available into November, like Mitsuro's. And I believe Aigis' social links doesn't unlock until January, which is the last playable month of the game. That is really my only big rant I have with the social links, which it just stopped me from being with the person I wanted to romance within the first 10 minutes of the game, being Mitsuro. And yeah, I will proudly say I was head over heels for this anime girl. Every minute I got to hang out with Mitsuro, I did. I even hung out with her after I couldn't progress the social links anymore. It was just the same scene with her over and over again. Alright, enough about Mitsuro. I also maxed out other social links like Kenji, Fuka, Mitsuro, the elderly couple, Yukari, Chihiro, Maya, and Aigis. These are all of the option ones, meaning you, the player, have to go out and get these social links yourself, unlike Pharos and the Seas team or the Nyx Annihilation team social links, which are all given to you as you progress throughout the story and the true ending of the game. I think it's very clear who my favorite character in the game was. But with that being said, I do have a few more complaints that are minor, but they're still complaints. I feel as some of the characters are really one-dimensional, and I feel like they're not connecting to me as much as the Persona 4 characters did. One thing which didn't bother me all too much, but did make me feel really uncomfortable, is having to say the correct options to optimize points into being able to complete the social links. Prime example is with the character Kenji. You have to encourage him by asking a teacher out and having the teacher actually say yes and a bunch of other stuff that I really don't want to talk about. It just really made me uncomfortable. One last thing is you cannot have the social link with any of the male characters from the C's team. Which, to be fair, I'm all aboard the hating Junpei train. He is easily my least favorite character of the game. And I really love that when Yukari makes fun of him for being a dumbass, but some male teammates like Akihiko or Koromaru, I would love to have a social link with them, because they're both really cool characters and kind of interesting in my opinion. Overall, I really enjoyed Persona 3. It was great, but with that, we're going to continue this video and let's move into Persona 4.
The true honest, so let's get it, yeah, let's see what we can uncover. One that defies your world, gives you truth and life. One that excels, special enough to guide your way through this shadow world.
Persona 4 Golden is the first Persona game I played. Overall, I enjoyed it. I have more positive things to say it than negative things to say it, but enough wasting time, let's just get straight into the breakdown of Persona 4 Golden. If you have never played Persona 4, here is a short summary of the story. Persona 4 follows a high school student who moves to a quiet rural town that soon becomes the center of a bizarre murder case connected to the supernatural world inside televisions. Forming a close group of friends, the protagonist works to save victims by entering the hidden realm, where each person must confront a manifestation of their inner fears and denied truths. As the investigation unfolds, it becomes clear that the murders are not just random, but driven by someone exploiting this world for their own twisted sense of purpose, which even deeper forces influences events behind the scenes. By the end, the truth behind everything is finally uncovered, revealing that the entire ordeal ties back to a larger, almost divine test of humanity's willingness to face reality, instead of hiding from uncomfortable truths, making the story ultimately about accepting oneself and seeking truth, no matter how painful it may be. First, talk about the story. I'm going to say it out straight. The story felt like it kept dragging on. I don't know if that was just me being excited to beat the game, or if this was the actual case. I'm not saying the story was bad by any means. The story may be one of the best stories I've played since I played Expedition 33. Anyways, I started getting this feeling around the end of the Heaven Dungeon and Magatsi Inaba, which has my favorite dungeon theme in the game, by the way. However, I was pretty engaged with the story still, and I was reading every piece of dialogue. I can say I don't think I skipped a single piece of dialogue on my first playthrough of the game. Another thing, which I guess you could call a gameplay mechanic, is the time limit you're given to solve the said case. To get the true ending, you pretty much play through the whole year. But in any other ending, you can end the game like in December. I did do some research. There are 7 distinct endings to the game. 3 or 4 of them are by, I'm just going to say, making bad decisions in December. There's the accomplice ending where, as it suggested, you help the killer. The normal ending where you don't, you return home early. And then the true ending where you uncover the ultimate culprit. Then an ending only for the golden version of the game called the true golden ending, which is the same as the true ending, but you can get an epilogue scene if you max out your social link with Maria, which is also an exclusive character for the golden version of the game. I also just want to say real quick, they had no reason to make getting the true golden ending of this game as complicated as it was. If you had to follow such perfect and precise things and precise dialogue to get this ending. A little rant. Another thing I'm a big fan of is some of those anime scenes in the game, especially the one where the whole gang playing music together at Junis. Also, just want to point out, Yukiko was playing the alto sax, so you know I had a romancer in the game. Context, I played the alto sax in high school, and I still play the alto sax. Overall, I like the story of Persona 4. Definitely wasn't my favorite, but it kept me engaged. So with that, let's get into the gameplay, shall we? I'm just going to be honest, I'm going to cut to the chase. Persona 4 gameplay is the same as any other turn-based RPG. I mean, that's the best way I can put it. No, in all seriousness, no. Persona 4 is the same as combat and how skills work, and of course items, but it's different with its dungeons, which I strongly disliked, by the way. My issue with the dungeons is that they felt short, but to make up for how short it was, it had a shadow around every other corner, and if it wasn't a shadow, it was a treasure chest. I didn't like it. I did not like that at all. And don't get me wrong, Tartarus in Persona 3 was not the answer either. I know this section is quite short, however, the big gameplay mechanic of the game is the social links, in my opinion, is the whole reason I love these games, so let's just get into the social link. The social link mechanic, being Persona 4 being my first Persona game, I absolutely fell in love with this. Now, I haven't done all the social links that are possible in the game, but I have done a good majority of them. As of writing the script, I have done the following completely all the way through. I have done Yosuke Hamaro, the investigation team, Che, Marie, Kuro, Yasuke, Yukiko, Teddy, Rise, Aya, and the Seekers of Truth. To be fair, the investigation team, Teddy, and the Seekers of Truth are all completed throughout the story and the true ending of the game, but that's beside the points. The social links I completed during my playthrough were the characters I were interested in. Due to either I was curious about the character and wanted to learn about those characters more. I do regret not getting some social links like Kanji, because Kanji was in my actual battling party, which is also the other reason I did some of the party members, which in my opinion, the best social link and probably the best party member in the whole game being Rise. I loved her social link story, and the power-up you got through leveling up her social links are incredible. On that note, another social link skill that is crazy good is the salvation skill that Yukiko Omagi gets. This skill completely heals and gets rid of any status effect for every party member on the team, which is really OP. I know you get it quite late into the game, but still, it's really goated. I do have to say, due to spending hundreds of hours with these characters and going through the social links and practically becoming friends with these characters, when I completed Persona 4 Golden for the first time, I did feel a little sad and maybe even a little depressed. Even because I won't be able to learn about these characters like I did through my first playthrough. I did find a good solution, though, for my post-Persona depression, and that was to play Persona 3. So, with that being said, let's move into the next section, being Persona 5 Royal.
You're back, you're only back, and you hide behind claiming my distress. Raise your fist to the sky, what below your boots? Come and make thy colors fly. Tell us who love and who to hate, and by the by, with the memories over mercy, stay true to your convictions. It is harder to do the same. So choose a color to live by. Your color with your virtue, give it all. Then you best cause I've been left with you. You can rule the world with colors high and high. You know that if you stay true, then no blue, red or white, you can lose. Live your colors flying high.
Persona 5 Royal was the last of the Persona games that I played, and is definitely competing for my favorite Persona game. So honestly, let's just begin with the first topic, being the story of Persona 5. If you've never played Persona 5, here's a brief summary. Framed for a crime he didn't commit, a high schooler dubbed Joker moves to Tokyo on probation. He awakens to a power called Persona and forms the Phantom Thieves of Hearts, diving into cognitive realms to reform corrupted adults and ultimately combat a sweeping society widespread conspiracy. Overall, the story of Persona 5 was simply a masterpiece. Like, towards the beginning of the game and even into the middle of the game, the story just kind of keeps building and building until you hit the climax of the story, and everything just becomes absolute cinema. Throughout the game, you flash from the current day and then into the past because you are telling the story of how you got into the interrogation room. And let me say, once you catch up to that, and everything past that moment is incredible. If you meet the specific requirements, you also get an extra 2-ish months, 3-ish of the game being both January and February, which brings another palace and palace ruler that I wasn't expecting, and more importantly, the best character in the game being Akechi to your playable party. I don't want to spoil all too much about the story, as you could kind of tell. I was beating around the bush there. So let's just talk about the gameplay. The gameplay of Persona 5 Royal was easily my favorite out of the three. It has the best variety of attacks, best baton passes, and best showdown moves. Baton pass is just the shift from Persona 3 Reload, but better. In 3 Reload, shift was just changing from character to another, while in 5, in game, it gains you health and some SP recovery, as well increases damage outputs. The showdowns remind me of the third G skills from 3, but honestly, they're about the same. 3, it was only one person, and you built the meter up. In 5, I'm not really sure what causes a showdown move to trigger, but it uses 2 people, and I think it looks cooler. So let's talk about the cat in the room. No, not Morgana. I'm talking about mementos, which words cannot describe how much I hate this place. I thought Tartarus from Persona 3 was boring. Let me tell you, it doesn't even compare to Mementos. It's just the same thing over and over and over and over again. And the worst part about it is you actually have to do all 50 some floors to complete the base game of Persona 5. My personal strategy was to pass every enemy and get to the bottom of each section as quickly as possible, because fuck mementos. And a few more things I would like to add is one is why the hell is the Akumura boss fight so hard? And more importantly, am I the only one that struggled on the final boss fight of the game? Like, I don't know. It might just be me. I might be absolutely terrible at this video game. But let me tell you, that final boss fight, absolutely brutal. I was stuck on that boss fight for probably about a week. I won't lie. But honestly, that's all I had to add. Let's just move into the social links. As of the past two Persona games, and including this one, this is my favorite part of the game, being the social links slash confidants in this game. Or, well, in this game's case. So, I really liked how the social links worked in this game. It reminds me a lot of Persona 4 social links, where as you rank them up, you got skills and stuff. In this game, you also got skills, like detoxing and being able to change party members out and all that cool stuff. I really, really love, how it works in this game. And a little example of this is Ryuji's rank 7 skill, which allows you to run over shadows and mementos, allowing you to get through your trip of mementos faster. Overall, I enjoyed the social links of this game, like I just said. I maxed for the confidants that I did reach max with. It was Akechi, Yoshizawa, Dr. Maruki, Futaba, Yosuke Makoto, On, and Ryuji. Oh, and also Haru. And any others you got throughout the story, like Sai, Najima, and Morgana. Um, in my playthrough, I ended up romancing Makoto. And honestly, it was the worst mistake I could make. And it's not because I don't like Makoto. It's the fact that I started to like Haru more than Makoto. Um, and I would have loved to romance Haru in this playthrough, but unfortunately I already had Makoto and I didn't want to get jumped on Valentine's Day. So I was loyal. I stayed to Makoto, and it was a grave mistake, especially because Haru seemed genuinely sad after rejecting her. Um, which is something that I also found weird about the romancing in this game. It feels like for almost every one of the girls, you have to initiate it. You have to initiate it. Like, they won't start it. But the other two, Haru and Yoshizawa, Yoshizawa straight out just admits it to you. But when you reject her, she's like, I can do that. I can stay as friends. Haru, she just seems downright upset. But enough of that. Besides, I really enjoyed this social links and confidants. Honestly, one of my favorite casts of a game for sure. And to wrap up my thoughts of the Persona games, I felt like they were all absolutely amazing. I loved them all. Persona 3 and 5 are definitely given a run of the money for my personal favorite. I do have to say my least favorite is Persona 4 for sure. Not saying it's a bad game, I still loved Persona 4. I just enjoyed 3 and 5 more. However, like I said at the beginning video, which one has the better story? I think 5 has the best story. I also think 5 has the best gameplay. Now, when it comes to the characters, I do have to give it to Persona 4 or Persona 5. I've been back and forth, if I'm going to be honest, for the past like week or so. One day I'll say Persona 5 cast. Then the next day I'll say Persona 4 casts. Today I'm feeling like Persona 4. So I'm gonna say Persona 4 for the sake of the video. It will change probably tomorrow morning. um, but yeah, the games are absolutely phenomenal. I enjoyed them so very much, and I plan on making more Persona content, especially because Persona 4 Revival comes out in February, which I will be live over on twitch.tv/CalCale06. Um, go check me out over there. Um, yeah, to see Persona 4 Revival live streamed by me, obviously, and then also Persona 6, whenever that comes out, I will also be live streaming it over there. And I'm sorry, I know you're saying change of scenery. Yeah, the part of the why this video took so long to get out is because I was also in the middle of moving while playing Persona 5. So it's crazy. We just got moved into the house. Literally record when I'm recording this bit, we just moved in the house today. So yeah. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it very, very much. If you did enjoy this video, make sure that like button is greatly appreciated. And if you always want to see more video game content like this, consider subscribing. It's completely free and you can always change your mind later. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching again, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.